Hey, what's going on, guys? Schwarzeneggermagic here. So right now I'm going to be showing you the tutorial and explanation to my mind-boggling card trick. You guys, there was a great response to it. You guys loved it. So now, if you haven't seen the performance and you want to check it out, that link will be right here and in the description. The video is not too long. It's about a minute and 45 seconds. Won't waste too much of your precious time. So let's get right into this. You're going to need a deck of cards, nothing special. And basically, you shuffle the deck up as much as you'd like. The spectator shuffles it, and then you just take out any 4 black cards and any 4 red cards. So I'm going to do that now. There is 4 black cards, and there's the 4 red cards. It doesn't matter what cards you use, doesn't matter the values. I know some people like to use the 4 aces and 4 kings. Personally, I don't like to do that, mainly because it's harder for the spectator to follow. Colors are just very simple, okay, not too difficult for the spectator. So you sort these by colors, so red and black, okay. Square the pack up here. And here's the basic idea. The very first move you're going to have to do, you're going to have to take one of the top 4 cards and bring them to the bottom, okay? There is an easy way to do this, and that is culling a card. So after you're done culling a card, your packet's going to look like that, alright, where you have 3 red cards, the 4 black, and then one of the red cards, okay? Let's talk about how the technique of culling a card, it's not too difficult, and it's a great thing to learn. So if you can learn it now, I'm sure you can apply it in tricks, and it'll help you out. Basically, I'm going to take this 4th card here and move it to the bottom of the pack. All I'm going to do is take my middle finger here. I am putting it on the card, and I'm just pulling the card in. You'll notice it disappeared, and when I square the packet up, it goes to the bottom. And let's go over that again here. Basically, you just take your middle finger, let's say on the 8 of diamonds. You pull the 8 of diamonds in all the way. You'll feel it kind of snap off. It'll be loose in the back here, and that way you can square the pack up and it goes to the bottom. Alright, so that's pretty much culling a card, not too difficult. And if you are having problems pulling the card in, your fingers may be too slippery. If that's so, just wet your finger with a little saliva or whatnot, water, okay? And you should be fine. So after you have culled the card to the bottom, your packet should look as following, alright? And here's the next step. You're going to have to reverse count the cards. What I mean by that is just basically flip-flop the order of this deck, so the top card has to go to the bottom, so on and so forth. What I do is I say, you probably don't believe that I have 8 cards, so I'm going to put them all down here, and you can go ahead and count those. I know a lot of people have seen card tricks in their day, and they won't believe you actually have 8 cards. So it just justifies that you actually do have 8 cards, and it also allows you to perform the trick correctly, because without reversing the cards, the trick will not work. So after you have reversed the cards, you're going to pick them up, take off the top 4 cards. You're going to show the bottom card and whatever color it is, and put the card down. One thing you don't want to do is show all 4 of the cards. I know a lot of people want to show the cards like that, where you spread the cards out, and if you do that, they're going to see a red card in there, which you don't want them to see. So you just take the cards, square them up, show the bottom card, and put them down. All right. From here, you spread the cards out, just like so, and you have 4 cards left in your hand here. You're going to just reverse count these. Okay, some people think you're doing an Elmsley count when really you're not. You're just taking 1 card off one at a time until they're all done, and you flip the top card over, and you go through, and you put the cards in between. They should be all the same color. If for some reason they're not, you most likely made a mistake earlier in the tutorial. But you should have the following, and this last card right here should be the opposite color. So you put all red cards in between, so this means that is a black card. Perfect. Now, obviously the spectator does think this is a red card. You want to convince them, and you don't want them to forget it's a red card. So often people forget. You have so many colors, you're saying so many words and whatnot, they get confused. You want to dumb this trick down as much as you can. Don't make the spectator think too much, okay? Once they start thinking, you lose they get off track and whatnot. You want to make it very simple. I like to use put a little marker on it. This has a red back, so you can go and say, this is a red back, so you can go ahead, remember it's a red card. Then I'll just put it into the card box, and you can watch it the whole time. From here, after you've done that, you can show these cards right here. right now, this is completely fine to show. There's nothing to hide. The only time you're going to have to hide something is when you turn your hand over, because you'll notice there's actually a red card here, so you're not going to be able to show that other side, because obviously you're going to flash a red card. So here's what I'm going to have you do. Okay, instead of showing all the cards like that, if you go slower, go one at a time showing the cards like this, okay, then when you flip it over, you do the same thing over here, it doesn't look awkward. What I mean by that is, if you're over here and you just completely show the cards, you're not afraid, you just go ahead, say, yeah, look, they're all fine, and then you turn the packet and you have to hide this last card, and you're very secretive about it, and you just kind of hide it like that. It looks awkward. They know, they'll figure out something's up. You want to make this trick the same throughout. Because of that, you want to just go one at a time here, so that way when you turn the cards over, it looks the same, alright? Now let's talk about hiding this red card, because obviously you don't want them to see it, because they think that last red card's down here. This is what I do. I wait right when I see that third card, the third face-up card, I start pivoting my hands the other way. Okay, I do it in a rather fast motion. It's all just like that, alright? If you want to be very safe, you don't want to flash whatsoever, I would start going at the second face down card, okay, all preference, okay, try it out, see what you think, alright. Now quickly, let's just cover flashing cards. Now, if you flash this red card, don't worry about it too much. If you can, try to make it as slight as that, okay. If you quickly flash that while you're turning it over, don't worry. Most likely, the spectator didn't even see it. You're too conscientious about yourself. You think, and you know you're worrying too much. Okay, just calm, you're down, and don't worry about it. Okay, most likely the spectator's not going to think twice. If they just saw 3 black cards, they're going to figure that was a black card as well, especially if you convinced them enough that that was a red card over here. They're going to be like, okay, well, he obviously couldn't switch the cards, okay. And most often, unless you flash real bad, they're not even going to notice. They won't think twice, so don't worry about it. Okay, so from here, you gotta do a sneaky move. It is sleight of hand. It will take a bit, it's a bit difficult, and it will take some practice. Basically, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a break under the top card. You should have 7 other cards below it, and you're gonna have to turn this packet upside down. So the opposite way. You're taking all 7 cards, look at that, 7, and turning them upside down, alright? Now, there is a sneaky way of doing this, so it's a little less noticeable. It is a bit difficult to get it down perfect, and it might take a bit of practice. Basically, what you're doing, you're going to get break under your top card. You're going to push that top card forward, and then while that top card is forward, you're going to turn the packet over, just like that, and square it up. Now, you turn the packet, you push it down a little bit, because the spectator should be in front of you, okay? They shouldn't be right above you, because if they are right above you, they're going to see this card right here. You guys are right above me, so pushing this forward, it does nothing, okay? It would just hurt you, in a matter of fact. Your spectator should be in front of you, so it gives you an illusion, okay? When the card is that you have space here, it's hidden, so they won't be able to see that. So then if you have your hand covering it, just like so, your hand, I use my dominant hand. My dominant hand is on top of the cards here, and my other hand is literally just pivoting the cards, just like so, until they come right to the top. Now this will be very, very awkward and very noticeable, and I have one tip for you. Basically, I like to add a little movement with my hands, okay? So right before you finish, so right when you're about halfway, you turn the cards halfway, right when you're coming to finish is the part where you make the most movement. How do you make this less noticeable? I like to add a little shake or a little wave, anything really. Okay, any sort of little movement. Okay, don't make it too much where you're like, oh yeah, and then, look, it changed. Okay, make it very subtle and very, not as awkward, okay? I always use the word awkward because if you make the trick, if you're too tense and you try too hard, okay, it's not going to turn out very good, okay? You're just turning it over, okay, right here. I'm coming over where my hand's going to pivot it up, okay? So what I'm going to do is, instead of just sitting here and just kind of doing that, I'm going to make a sudden little shake, okay, all in one motion, and have to turn the cards over, and it's done the job, and hopefully the spectator wouldn't notice it as much, alright? So practice that, and that may be a little unclear. You might still not know how to do this move, so I'm going to give you a link right here, also in the description, for Mando P1, guys, has an amazing tutorial on this. If you're not subscribed to him already, you're missing out on a lot. His videos, they're card trick video of the day all the time. He has amazing tutorials. They're very in-depth. He has a few tutorials that are over 20 minutes. They're just very in-depth and great tutorials. And he has a fabulous tutorial on this. I'll link you to that also in the description, just so you can learn that a little bit better, okay, than my 1-minute tutorial. Alright, so after you've turned the packet over, it just completely switches places because of our setup. It works perfectly, alright, and there you go. And over here, it should be the last and final black card, which it is, alright. So that's the trick, guys. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below, okay. And that's it, guys. And as always, remember, I'll be back.